Welcome back to the Movement Network Bar, and today we're going to talk about Joseph JoJo Diaz Jr. and his options, two options actually, after beating Fortuna. Now, Joseph Jr., for me, JoJo Diaz, it's an amazing talent. I mean, if we look back at Joseph Diaz record, he has a great, I won't say great, but has a really good record. I believe 32, 15 KOs out of 32 wins, one loss, which was to Mr. Gary Russell Jr. and a draw, which, to be honest with you, though he lost to his 2 fights ago. I think it was December 20. Was it in December? January. It was January. Yeah, I think it was January. To Rafkimov, if I'm not mistaken. One of those rough and tough fighters, which really good fighter. So Joseph Diaz beat Tevin Farmer, Jesus Quadro. For me, a decent fighter. Javier Fortuna's last outing. And his only loss came to Mr. Gary Russell Jr., a guy that I have in my top 10. Easily. Gary Russell Jr. is in my top 10 current best fighters right now at the moment. But unfortunately, no one wants to fight Mr. Gary Russell Jr. And let me rephrase that. Gary Russell has a lot of talent. He's always talking and he's always huffing and puffing. He wants to fight the greatest fighters out there. But for some reason, it doesn't happen. I remember when him and Devin Haney were going to fight. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Then he wanted Tank Davis. That didn't happen. He's willing to go up and wait. But for some reason, the guy has too much talent. He's a really good fighter, but he never gets the big fights. So Joseph Diaz ends up beating Javier Fortuna on July 9th. An opportunity that was given, first of all, to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia dropped out of the fight. He said he was having some mental issues. He was depressed. He had a lot of personal problems, so he dropped out of the fight. It was interesting how a couple weeks after Joseph Diaz and Fortuna was signed, seal, and deliver, magically he started healing and he was doing better. By the way, go fix yourself, young men, and then come back stronger and better. But with that said, I don't think Ryan Garcia should be number 4 in the ESPN best lightweight 135 pounder at the moment. I think he should go down to number 9. 9. I think 9 is a good position for him. Anyway, to get back into the whole thing with Joseph Diaz, that whole thing with Joseph Diaz and Javier Fortuna, that was an opportunity that was given to Ryan Garcia. Now, Ryan Garcia was supposed to fight Devin Haney a long time ago, but for some reason, again, he said he didn't want to fight him. So most recently, Joseph Diaz beat Javier Fortuna, winning the WBC interim lightweight title, which they got too many titles out there. It's another video that I'm going to make. We got too many fight titles out there. WBC, WBA, and then WBC got like 5 different titles. Who cares anymore? Everybody could be a champion nowadays. Anyway, this was a unanimous decision over Javier Fortuna. This is a fight that, moving forward from now that he beat Javier Fortuna, we really want to see him versus, Ryan Garcia or either Devin Haney. Those are the 2 fights that he's saying that he wants. Now, Ryan Garcia is an easy fight to make. It should be an easy fight to make because they're both within the zone / Golden Boy promotion. So it should be a very, very, very easy fight to make, given the fact that, they're for the same promoter. Now, would Ryan Garcia want that fight, especially in Los Angeles? I believe they're both from LA. They both are from LA. That will be a very entertaining fight in LA. Or the fight, which is the one I want to see, is versus Devin the Dream Haney. Now, Devin Haney, 26 fights, 0 losses. We saw him last time versus Jorge Linares on May 29th. And a lot of people gave him a lot of trash because in the 11th round, he was buzzed. Yes, he was buzzed 100%. Linares landed a flurry of punches, and which Devin Haney covered 90% of them. But unfortunately, with the last punch, it got through. Now, Devin Haney went to his corner. He was wobbling, but he recovered. Came back, did what he was supposed to. He grabbed, he moved, composed himself, and then, just won the fight. There's no debating that. Devin Haney won the fight easily. But for some reason, these part-timers, boxing fans, think that for you to be a good boxer, you should never get touched. You should never get wobbled. No, that's not how it works. Okay, Ryan Garcia went down his last fight versus Luke Campbell. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios on June 26th was having a hard time with Barrios. Barrios being a very awkward fighter for him, taller, heavier. So my point is, every fighter will go through some form of obstacle during the match. It's just the way it is. But let's talk about Diaz, JoJo, and his opposition at lightweight. Because I don't think he's going to do very well against Teofimo Lopez. I think Teofimo Lopez's power and skills will definitely stop at Joseph Diaz. Vasily Lomachenko, I think, would also stop JoJo. Who else? Gervonta Tank Davis would definitely stop him. He would definitely stop JoJo Diaz. Tank Davis don't play around if he's able to make weight, which, by the way, his last time around, it wasn't that tough. He made weight. He looked good. Now, Ryan Garcia might be able to stop if he catches JoJo with a good punch. Solid. Could stop him. Devin Haney will definitely box circles around him. Devin Haney is a boxing wizard. We all know that. He's unlocking the code. Richard Coleman would definitely knock out JoJo Diaz if he catches him with a flush shot. Who else is in that division? Jorge Linares, no. JoJo Diaz will beat Jorge Linares. George Kambosos Jr. is another fighter. I think 19 fights, 0 losses. Last time around was against Lee Selby, October 31st. Now, and he's scheduled to fight Teofimo Lopez. And that's another video that I'm in the process of making. The fact that Teofimo Lopez is just lollipopping around, and I don't think he wants to fight anymore. I think that he realized that George Kambosos is a better fighter than what he thought. And he has a fight in his hands. But that's a video for another day. Now, I think George Kambosos, I don't know if he would beat JoJo Diaz, or JoJo Diaz might be able to just, I don't know. We don't know enough about George Kambosos Jr. to say who he will beat in the division and who he will not beat. It's too soon. I personally haven't seen enough of him. Then we have Luke Campbell, which Luke Campbell is one of those fighters that he should have been better than what he is. He won the gold medal for Great Britain. Great fighter. Has all the recipes needed to be, all-time great. But for some reason, something happens with him. He lost to Ryan Garcia, lost to Vasily Lomachenko, and many other fights out there. Lost to Linares. So for me, he should have been a better fighter than what he is, being that he has so much in his toolbox. But whatever the case is, the guy just can't put it together. What he should have done a little while ago was come over to the U.S. and train with one of our great coaches, right? But unfortunately, never did. So I don't think his career is going to be any better than what it already was in the past. Now, do you guys think that Ryan Garcia versus JoJo Diaz will be an entertaining fight? I happen to believe so. I think that will be a great fight, but I do see Ryan Garcia getting hurt in that fight. I know we saw him versus Luke Campbell, and he went down, got up, very composed, pushed forward, and I love the way he behaved after he went down. The confidence that he had just to get back up and continue pushing the action and stop Luke Campbell was for me. That's what I want to see in a young fighter. So I give him a lot of credit for that fight. Now, How would JoJo Diaz do versus the Devin Haney? That's what we don't know. Devin Haney doesn't have the most pop, but he has just an abundance of skills. This kid he is just so talented. A lot of people compare him to Mayweather. I don't think he's a Mayweather, because Mayweather coming up was a beast. I mean, Mayweather had it all. Power, speed, skills. So we can't compare him to a Mayweather when Mayweather was in his prime. And we all know that Mayweather had to make the switch from being a killer to just being a boxer, pure boxer. But that wasn't by choice. That was that his hands was just fragile, and he had to make a decision whether I want to get my hand Gotti style broken in every fight, or just cruise along with a good victory. And he chose option B, and he just cruised along with a good victory over all his opponents. Kudos to him, man. I mean, he's in the top 10 ever, top 5 ever. Top 10. Top 10. But Devin Haney versus JoJo Diaz. I see Devin Haney just outclassing him, beating him. It's a harder fight for me for JoJo Diaz, for him to fight Devin Haney, than it will be for him to fight Ryan Garcia. The only thing he has to watch with Ryan Garcia is just getting caught with a solid punch. But with Devin Haney was just box circles around him. Now, I do know that JoJo Diaz and Devin Haney have been going on this back and forth Twitter war, which I don't get involved in that. I truly don't like to do stuff like that. But to get you guys updated, Devin Haney did say that he's 100% willing to fight JoJo Diaz. JoJo Diaz ended up trying to FaceTime him at night, Devin Haney, and he really wants that fight. I think that is the fight that JoJo Diaz at the moment wants. It's the fight versus Devin Haney. I do think that's going to be an entertaining fight. I want to hear. Ultimately, I'm going to give my prediction. If JoJo Diaz goes against Ryan Garcia, he's going to get stopped. And if JoJo Diaz goes versus Devin Haney, he's going to get outboxed. I don't see a way how JoJo Diaz could win any other. I don't think he could beat anyone at the lightweight division. The only one, and I already went through some of the fighters that I think is going to knock him out. Again, Teofimo Lopez will stop him. Vasilo Macheco will stop him. Gervonta Tank Davis will stop him. Ryan Garcia will stop him. Devin Haney would box circles around him. Richard Cormier will stop him. Jorge Linares, he beats easily. Not easily, but he will beat Jorge Linares just because Jorge Linares, he's not the same fighter he used to be. George Kambosos, who knows? I don't know enough about him. And Luke Campbell, I think Joseph Diaz beat Luke Campbell. But I want to hear from you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one. And again, this is a fight we should get. This is an easy fight to make. And this is an entertaining fight. Boxing is finally picking up. And it's on its way to being a better sport than what it used to be 2 years ago when no one wanted to fight. No one. We just got word that, the WBC have ordered Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter. We do know Manny Pacquiao is going to go against, my boy from Texas, the fighter that I've been calling one of the best fighters, and you know who it is, Texas. He's going to pull out the upset. So, of course, Errol Spence Jr. So let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.